is Step 1 with Freddie Wilson. Welcome to another episode of Step 1. I am Freddie Wilson. As a reminder, you can find every episode of Step 1 on Spotify and YouTube. And if you want to see more Step 1, give me a follow on Instagram at Step 1 with Freddie Wilson and Twitter at Step 1 Podcasts. We got a great show for you today. My good friend Dylan Carr is joining the show, talk a little football. Also, we got a wild weekend of college football and the NFL to recap and championship weekend to preview. All right, let's ride. We had an awesome final weekend of the regular season of college football. It all started Friday with Lane Kiffin's final game at Ole Miss, getting a win against Mississippi State. Lane Kiffin is now the head coach of LSU. He's not going to be coaching Ole Miss in the playoffs. I will admit, I was wrong. I really did think he was going to stay at Ole Miss. But after dragging out a decision, I think Lane Kiffin knew all along he was leaving. I think he was just figuring out an exit strategy and if he was going to be able to coach his team in the playoff. Georgia Tech lost again, this time to Georgia. I know last episode I went on this whole rant about Georgia Tech. Let's just say I was wrong. I recorded that episode before the Pitt game, which I genuinely thought they were going to win, even when they were down 28-0. And I thought maybe this was the year they beat Georgia. I was wrong again. I think they're still a good team, but they're not as good as I thought they were. And on Friday night, Texas A&M lost to Texas, and now Texas thinks they should be in the playoff. I'm going to say right here, Texas does not deserve to be in the playoff. I know they've had some good wins, but they have 3 losses, and they make the argument, we lost to Ohio State instead of playing an FCS team week 1. Well, I would argue if you are good enough to be in the playoff, you would have won that game. Texas only lost by a touchdown. They had opportunities to win that game. I know it feels like so long ago, but they had opportunities. But they were bad in that game. And again, Ohio State's a great team, don't get me wrong. But Texas had plenty of chances. They were at the goal line, and they turned it over on downs. They also lost to Florida, who was a really bad team. As for Texas A&M, they might be a fraud. I know they beat Notre Dame, but their SEC schedule was incredibly easy. And yes, you don't pick your schedule, but when they finally played a good team, they struggled. Moving to Saturday, Ohio State finally beats Michigan. It looked like Ohio State was struggling early on, but then they turned on the Jets and dominated Michigan. Miami got a win in the cold against Pitt. Miami is another team that has an argument to be the playoff. And I know this is not a hot take, but they should be ranked above Notre Dame. They beat Notre Dame week 1. A head-to-head game should matter. Unfortunately, the committee just loves Notre Dame, and it looks like barring a sudden change of heart, Miami will be out of the playoff. Oregon got a big win against Washington and secured, in all likelihood, a home playoff game. What a great year for the Ducks. A win against Washington was just the icing on the cake. Oklahoma survives a scare from LSU. Oklahoma's a good team, but I don't think they're a national championship caliber team. This was supposed to be a blowout game, and they played it way too close. And Vanderbilt finally beats Tennessee, getting their first 10-win season ever. Vanderbilt is another 2-loss team, but I think has a solid playoff argument. I don't think they're going to get in, but regardless, what an electric season for Vanderbilt. And finally, Alabama survives a scare at Jordan-Hare as they beat Auburn. Even when Auburn is bad, when the Iron Bowl is in the Plains, they make this game interesting. Also, Cal beat SMU, sending Duke to the ACC championship game despite Duke being 7-5. I did my research. I don't understand how Duke's playing for the ACC championship. I've had people explain to me. I've read explanations of it. None of it adds up. I didn't even know it was possible for them to get in. I'd heard like a rumor, but I thought no way. I'd heard a rumor if everything went their way, maybe they would get in. I haven't once even talked about Duke on the show. We don't talk about average teams, but somehow Duke is playing for ACC title, and I am here for the chaos. Let's go, Blue Devils. Just in football. We don't root for basketball, though. Sorry, Spyro. Spyro's our friend of the show, by the way. He'll be on in a couple weeks. Moving to the NFL, great slate of games. It all started on Thanksgiving with the Packers getting a win against the Lions. The Packers are good. I'm not ready to say they're great, but Jordan Love is playing solid football right now. It is Toyotathon season, and we all know what happens during Toyotathon. The Cowboys beat the Chiefs on Thanksgiving as well. The Chiefs are not bad by any means. They just can't figure out how to win one score games. And maybe they just have bad luck. The Cowboys are not a great team, so I was surprised the Chiefs couldn't find a way to win in what was very much a must win game. And on Thursday night, Joe Burrow returned and helped guide the Bengals to a win against the Ravens. I know Joe Burrow, maybe he shouldn't be playing because the Bengals are definitely not going to the playoffs, but credit him for still wanting to go out there and compete, even if the Bengals' hopes are slim. On Black Friday, the Chicago Bears got a big win against the Eagles. Pains me to say this, the Bears might be good. Eagles fans are distraught right now, and they are taking their anger out by egging their offensive coordinator's house. We're a pro Philadelphia podcast, but we're definitely not a pro Eagles fans podcast. Classless move up by Eagles fans. Moving to Sunday, the Texans beat the Colts. Colts started off the season red hot, and I still think they're a good team, but the Texans are a sneaky good team with a great defense, and the Colts couldn't do enough on offense to win. Speaking about sneaky good teams, the Panthers beat the Rams. The Panthers are probably not going to the playoffs, but they are coming in and raining on everyone's parade. Moving to the afternoon, the Bills dominated the Steelers, and Aaron Rodgers calls out his wide receivers for being bad, and the Vikings are in shambles and with no quarterback, and I'm shocked Justin Jefferson hasn't publicly asked to be released yet. And on Sunday night, the Broncos found a way to get a win against the Commanders. The Commanders are struggling, but they put up a solid fight against a good Broncos defense. And I liked that they went for two at the end to try to win the game because they had nothing to lose. I know they didn't get it, but they had nothing to lose, and they lost. Boo hoo, they'll get a better draft pick. And when Jane Daniels comes back, they're going to be really good. If they get like another receiver or like a running back, like watch out. And finally, on Monday night, the Patriots extend their win streak and beat the Giants. Not much to say about this game other than the Patriots are really good. And now let's get to my interview with Dylan Carr. All right, today we welcome on very special guest, reoccurring guest, here to talk about a little college football. Dylan Carr, welcome to Step One. How are you doing?
I'm all right.
All right, so we got the final playoff rankings before they release the official playoff rankings. Are there any teams that you feel like are left out, but you feel like have the case to be in? Because I have some opinions that I've talked about on the show.
Hey, say the question again.
Do you have an opinion on the playoff ranking? Are there any teams you feel like should be in it that aren't in it that wouldn't be in the playoff?
Are there any teams that should be in the playoffs that aren't?
Yeah,
Maybe Miami.
I think Miami has the strongest case because they did beat Notre Dame, and for weeks the playoff committee has been like, "Oh, we rank Notre Dame higher," and
Like Miami.
Miami beat Notre
Well,
Dame.
if you look at Notre Dame and Miami's schedule and Miami beat Notre Dame, you
They're
could say
comparable
maybe Miami
schedules.
deserves it.
They're very similar schedules. Like Notre Dame obviously played A&M and lost, but Miami's they're both two loss teams, but Miami's the head to head. I just don't understand why Miami isn't ranked higher or at least in the playoff as an at large bid because you're not going to get one when they're conference because they're not in the ACC championship because somehow Duke is in it. Don't get me started on that. I'm rooting for Duke, by the way, because I think it's funny.
Is Duke, do they have to win their conference championship?
So here's the thing. If if Duke wins the conference championship, since they're 7-5 and would be 8-5 if they win the conference championship, the committee doesn't have to give an ACC champion a spot. It's only for the five best conference winners. I just assume that the Power Four conferences would get those spots. So JMU could sneak in if Duke wins. Because they're not going to just give a five-loss team a playoff spot.
Yeah, so if Duke wins, they're in though, right?
Not necessarily.
I thought conference champions,
Yeah, but that's the thing is the five best conference championships, so they could give it to another group of five conference instead of the ACC,
who would it be?
and probably JMU.
That would be interesting. Who
So
Duke's playing Virginia, right?
yeah, I'm rooting for Duke just because I think it's funny that
That would be fun. I think Virginia should win that. Virginia is like they're not winning
Virginia's
anything
been a pretty
important.
good team all year, and like Virginia's also gone some favors because they have two losses, but only one non-conference loss because their game against NC State wasn't a conference game. Apparently, it was considered non-conference, and they lost.
Who'd they
The
lose to?
ACC is a mess right now. It's great.
Who'd Virginia
This
lose to?
They lost to NC State like early on of the season, but it was deemed a non-conference game prior to obviously it wasn't deemed after the game. It was always a non-conference game.
Whatever. I mean, I feel like that 11 and 12 seed are for sure losing first round. So Oregon's number five, right?
Oregon's number five
At the moment, at least.
at the moment.
Is there anything that could knock them down or no?
I mean, probably not. I don't think so. I mean, I think they're going to stay at 5 or 6 probably because I feel like the committee doesn't really change its mind.
I mean, I feel like Oregon deserves five, honestly. They went 11 and 1.
Yeah, we
Their
won
only
11 and
loss
1.
is to Indiana, which was a decent game, I would say.
I mean, it was a 10-point loss at home. It wasn't the best game.
It wasn't a great game. I mean, if we didn't throw those picks at the end, it probably would have been a one score game. So,
I
I'd say
guess, yeah.
whatever. I think Oregon's a national championship contender, honestly.
I think there are like 5 teams I think could win it. I don't have them like listed. I can spitball. Ohio State is obviously, I think Indiana could win it. I do think Texas Tech, just because of how good their defense is. Throw in Oregon. I mean, that might be it, to be honest, because I think every Georgia maybe, but like I think every other team has too many weaknesses.
Yeah, probably. I don't think Notre Dame's going to do it.
Notre Dame can't do it. No way. Notre Dame shouldn't even be in the playoff if Miami's not if and the fact that Miami's in it, not in it as of now, would be the first one out.
Take away all the teams that you just said would that you think are going to win it all.
Yeah.
What prediction would you make for like so without those teams, what two teams would meet in the championship?
Without vote
Bold
I mean,
prediction,
bold prediction. I still think I could see Bama making a run.
definitely.
I think Bama's gonna be in the playoff because the committee loves Bama. Even if Bama loses against Georgia.
I think it's fair.
Bama's
I'll,
gonna
I'll
be a
take
three
Bama
law
even
a
too.
3 loss playoff team.
They
Because
beat Georgia anyway, so
But they're going to punish BYU. If BYU loses, they're going to punish BYU for losing their conference championship. BYU has 1 loss. BYU is not in the playoff either. They have 1 loss. I think the committee just hates the Big 12. They hate the ACC. They love Notre Dame. I think they're very biased. It's all subjective.
it's true. I mean, I don't know. I don't think BYU would ever beat Alabama anyway.
This BYU team could.
No,
You don't think this BYU team could do it?
no, no shot.
I mean, to be fair, I've not watched that much BYU football, shockingly, but I know they're a good team. And I think they could give Bama a run for their money. Bama lost to Florida State, and Florida State's bad.
Looking up the current bracket,
It's I think the committee just showed us this year they love Notre Dame, they
is
love
there a
Bama.
chance Miami could still get in?
There's an off chance of committee magically changes their mind, but they showed with the most recent rankings they're not putting Miami in.
Hmm.
Miami and BYU be the first 2 out.
How do you think Oklahoma does?
It's all a question of how John Mateer plays.
I
If
think
John,
Oklahoma is a weird one because their defense is insane, but their offense isn't very good.
they've been injured. John Mateer got injured, so that's why their offense took a hit. and they rushed him back a little too quickly. I think Oklahoma is a solid team. I don't think they are winning it all. But that's another two-loss team that they're like, oh yeah, let's just put in Oklahoma instead of BYU, who's one loss. Let's put in Oklahoma instead of Miami. Miami could take the place of a bunch of teams. And again, I don't like Miami. I just think they're getting the short end of a stick. I was waiting for them to lose in November so that way I wouldn't have to defend Miami, and they never lost in November.
I got a guarantee for you in the playoffs.
What's your guarantee?
A&M loses first round.
And you think
Unless if
what
they
if
play
it's a home game
if they play home versus some garbage team, they'll probably win. But if they play Alabama, they're losing. If they
an
play
A&M
Oklahoma,
Alabama first round would be awesome.
if they play Oklahoma, they'll lose.
Even at home.
Yeah, 100%.
Kyle Field's a hard place to win.
And I think A&M's super overrated.
I think they are too. I just can't see them losing at home. I could see them if they had to go on the road, but they're not going to go on the what are they ranked right now? They're like seven. They're going to host a home playoff game probably.
Though, yeah, they should because they're kind of lucky that they don't have to play in the SEC championship because that would have been even worse. They would
I
have
mean,
been
I think
stomped by
I think they
Georgia.
wanted to make it just because they've never been.
They've never been to the SEC
Well, they haven't been
championship.
in the SEC that long. They've been in the SEC since 2012.
That is unfortunate. What about how do you think Texas Tech does? That's an interesting
I
team.
think Texas Tech's defense is electric. I
They have
think
defense.
they have a great defense. I think Texas Tech's a solid team. I think their offense can do enough. I've not watched a whole lot of Texas Tech because it's Big 12 and I don't watch that much Big 12.
How are Longhorns fans feeling right now?
Longhorns
Seeing
they're
Texas
trying to make
A&M.
they're trying to make the argument that they should be in the playoff too. At not sitting at 9-3, they're making the argument. Oh, we played Ohio State instead of some scrub team. They could have won against Ohio State. They had their opportunities. It was only four. It was a one touchdown game. They had their chances to beat Ohio State. They turned it over on downs in the red zone, like at least once, if not twice. I don't remember the
Is,
game that
is,
well.
what's it called? Is Indiana Ohio State Saturday?
Yeah, Indiana, Ohio State, number one, number two. But yeah, back
That'll
to
be good.
Texas. Texas
That'll
lost
be
to
interesting.
Florida. You can't live that down if you're Texas. I'm sorry. You lost to a bad Florida team.
Texas just didn't have it in them this year.
I think Texas is still a fine team, but you did lose to Florida. And Florida
Well, they
was
beat
just
A&M though.
they beat A&M, so what? A&M was a fraud. You lost to Florida.
Well, at least they can say they beat A&M. So they have that, but
They do have that, but and he beat Oklahoma, so you beat your two rivals.
okay, I'm gonna
It
list
wasn't a
some teams.
it wasn't a
How many?
failure of a season.
All right, I'll list some teams. How many playoff games do these teams win?
All
Ole
right.
Miss
Ole Miss, they're going to host a home playoff game, but without Lane Kiffin, which that was. Did you think Lane Kiffin was staying or going?
going.
You knew he was go. You thought he was going. I thought he was going to stay.
I thought he was gonna
I
go.
should have. However, I will say once he said I'm going to announce my decision after the Mississippi State game, then I kind of thought he's just dragging this out. Like he might leave, but I really thought before that he was going to stay. But once he said, I'm going to make my decision on Saturday, and Saturday came and gone, and he didn't make a decision, I think he knew he was leaving. I think he was just trying to beg him to let him coach. And they're not going to let him coach the rest of the season.
So you think Ole Miss wins one?
I think Ole Miss wins one because I think though I it's a actually no they could lose a home game. It is not. It has been a very bad home environment for them this year. I've been before. It's a good time like tailgating, but the actual game itself, the actual like vibes in the stadium are not that high. It's great tailgating.
So you going 1 or 0?
I'm going zero.
You
I
think they
think
lose
Ole Miss could
home?
absolutely lose a home playoff game.
All right, we'll go. How many does Texas Tech win?
Texas Tech will probably get a bye. It depends who they're matched up with.
If they matched up against Oregon, who wins that?
I think Oregon would win it because Oregon can win in a lot of different ways.
Have you ever seen like the I think it's the top 8 or 9? They're all red teams, and then Oregon's the only green team in there.
Yeah, because we're one of the only green teams in the country.
Too many red teams, man. We need some.
It's diversity.
So how far does Oregon go?
Oregon will win a first round playoff game because they're hosting at home. We don't lose at home, and we're gonna play like a group of five team most likely. We're gonna play like a Tulane or a North Texas, and I think we'll beat them. I think it depends who we play. Again, it really depends who we play.
If they played, let's say,
Because if we can match up with
Tech,
Ohio State again, I hate to say it, we ain't beating Ohio State.
you think so? Indiana, Ohio State, you think one of them is going to drop below 2?
I think, yeah, I think the loser of the potential championship will probably drop to. I think they'll probably drop to four. I
I
don't.
think they might go to the 3, depending on how the game goes. I think it'll be only 3 because they're both 12-0.
Yeah, and again, like they're both making the playoffs. It's just a question of can they both keep the bye? Because it's not conference champions who get the
They'll both.
bye now.
I think they should both keep the bye, in my opinion. I think as long as the game is decent.
I think it will be a good game. It's not. It doesn't mean as much as it used to with playoff implications, but you know what? It's still fun. It's still cool that Indiana's in this Big Ten championship in their home state. Like it's gonna be now, Ohio State fans travel. It'll be like 60, it'll be 60-40. It'll be like 60% Hoosiers fans. It's not gonna be more than 60 because Ohio State fans travel really well.
So if Oregon played, let's say, Georgia in the second round, you think we would beat them?
We could beat Georgia.
That would be an interesting one.
We can win a lot of different ways. We've shown we can win those close games. We can ground and pound. We can throw the ball when needed to.
I think if Oregon gets the right matchups, they could win it all. But I
Yeah,
don't
it's
think they could win. Like, I don't think they would beat Georgia and then Indiana and then like Ohio State. I think
I
if they had, if there's one tough game like Ohio State, they might be able to win that one tough game. But like
I don't think we're beating
3 in a
Ohio.
row,
I don't
I
think
don't
we
know
could beat
I don't know
Ohio
if they're
State. I don't think anyone's going to beat Ohio State. They're too darn good.
we'll see. I think they might be a little bit overrated, but we'll see.
I will say, and I've been asking guests this, how much Ohio State did you actually watch this year? Because I have not
Insane.
watched any Ohio State.
They're good. They're just
But how much of it have you actually like you picked a game, you're like, you know what? I'm gonna watch Ohio State today.
their
They're
best
playing a big
wins.
game. I
Their
have
two
not
best
watched a
wins
second.
were the Michigan game because they lost out for a long time,
Okay,
and Texas game.
I did watch part of the Michigan game and I watched part of the Texas game. But besides their first last game, everything in between, I can't say I watched because I there was no big Ohio like matchup with Ohio State where like, you know what? Like let's see if someone can dethrone Ohio State. Because you knew they
I
were gonna
think
win all those games.
I think there's a good chance, honestly, because Indiana beat Oregon in Outson. I think there's a good chance Oregon's only loss is to the current number 1 team right now. Because I think Indiana might be better than Ohio State.
Again, like Indiana had the harder schedule, but not by much. I still think Indiana had some pretty cupcake games. But again, so did Oregon. The Big Ten was very top heavy. And since Penn State wasn't that good, and they all played Penn State, but Penn State played Indiana close.
So do you like teams like Tulane or JMU being in the playoffs?
I like it just because it gives a little more diversity. I don't think we have a JMU or Tulane team that's going to win it all this year, but like there could be one year where like a magical Cinderella story happens. I don't think this is the year.
So would you rather have like James Madison or Miami in?
I mean, I think Miami should be in it, but again, like the committee has made it very clear they don't want Miami in it for whatever reason. They're like, may I kind of felt like maybe they were banking on Miami losing, and that's why they ranked them where they ranked them, even though they're supposed to do it week by week. But Miami didn't lose in November. Miami's playing their best football right now. They went to Pittsburgh and they played in the cold and won convincingly. A bunch of Florida boys played in 30-degree weather and won.
I think Miami should be in it. I think honestly, I like the idea of giving an underdog team. So like last year was like Boise State
Boise State
or
was the conference champion.
I don't
Was the
know,
Group
or
Five conference
this year
champion.
is like Tulane or Madison or whoever gets in,
Mhm.
Virginia maybe.
Well, Virginia, if they, I think if they, Virginia wins the ACC, I think they have a very strong case to make it. It's not
And
get
they're all right. But like, do you think is Virginia better than Miami?
no,
That's what I'm saying. I don't think that teams like that. I think the way the playoffs should work is just the 12 highest ranked teams should be in.
yeah. Again, like the playoff committee the playoffs have a lot of flaws, and the playoff committee has a lot of problems. It's not a perfect system, but it's a system we
I think
have.
it's better than last year though, because last year giving those types of teams a bye was just ridiculous. Like it's just there's no point. I like the idea of just the best four teams being in the top four. It's probably how it should work.
I still think you should get some because if you don't get a reward for winning your conference, then what's the point of conference championships? You need some incentive of winning your conference.
Yeah, I don't know though.
Except if Duke wins, they still might not make the playoff.
The other problem is like if Oregon, let's say Oregon plays James Madison, I don't think we need that's gonna be like a 40 point over under. Like
Yeah,
I don't
like
really like games like that.
it's gonna be a high spread. And again, I I still think James Madison's a solid team, but again, they can't compete with the big. They play in the Sun Belt. They're not ready for the Big Ten. It's a completely different experience in the Sun Belt.
So Oregon, you think could win it all, but they need the right matchups.
They need the right matchups, but they can win in a lot of different ways. That's what I like about this team because we've
What
seen
about
how
Indiana? You think Indiana wins it all?
Indiana has. Again, I think Indiana. There's a lot of teams that have a chance. And I think Indiana's very good. I think their offense is explosive. I think their defense is much improved.
I feel like no one's really talking about that. I
Talking
feel like
about
people know Indiana is good, but they're not really considering them.
because people are still getting used to the fact that Indiana's good at football because they've never been good. They're a basketball school, and
I
they're not
think
even that good at basketball currently.
even though Indiana beat us, I think if Oregon was out, I might be an Indiana fan.
I mean, we were a pro Indiana podcast until they beat us. I have the Signetti shirt. We love Signetti on this show. But I mean,
Mhm.
Bloomington's a great college town. We're a pro. Okay, we're not a pro state of Indiana. We're a pro University of Indiana. The state of Indiana sucks.
What if they just made it to where only like one Tulane JMU team could get in and not two of them? They should make it something more like that, where there's just the last seed, and then maybe like Miami would take that 11th seed.
Again, I think Miami has a case. We haven't even talked about Vanderbilt sitting at 10-2. They have an argument to be made of getting
I
in.
thought Vanderbilt was good. They beat Tennessee.
They beat, yeah, you live in Tennessee. What are the vibes amongst Vols fans?
I live close to where the Vols fans are at.
Yeah, what are the vibes amongst, how are Vols fans feeling after
They're
losing?
not happy. They
They're
don't
not
seem very.
happy.
I feel like Vanderbilt never beats Tennessee.
They never do.
It must be very weird for them.
Yeah,
They didn't have a great year. I think they went 8-4.
yeah, Vols fans had a rough go of it this year.
Well,
They lost all the big matchups.
yeah, it's rough. Rough for them, but
Great offense, but the defense not so good.
is the first playoff game the 20th, 19th, or 20th, something like that?
I believe so. It's the weekend after the Heisman, which I should probably announce we're going to the Heisman. I'm going again. Yeah, let's talk a little Heisman talk. We haven't done that yet. It's the most wide open race I've ever seen
The top one.
since I've been a fan. Like last year this time, we kind of knew Travis Hunter was going to win it.
Yeah, well, it was Hunter and Jetney. That was it.
Yeah, like it was pretty clear who was going to be there. This year, like no idea
What
because
about, do you think Mendoza deserves it in
I think
Indiana?
Mendoza will be in New York. I think I want Diego Pavia to be in New York just because I want to meet him. I just really want to meet Diego Pavia.
What about the running back on Notre Dame?
I think, well, conventional wisdom will tell you every year that ends in a five, a running back wins the Heisman. So this could be the
Hey,
year where that
Love
streak
deserves it.
ends.
Honestly, I think my pick would be Mendoza.
I think Mendoza and Austin. I think he'll be New York. I mean, it was Marcel Reed. I was high on Marcel Reed for a while, but then he kind of had a bad half against South Carolina. He had a pretty bad game against Texas. And again, people kind of vote. People don't think about the whole season. People kind of vote, how are you playing now? And I think Diego Pavia is hot right now. I think Mendoza's hot now. Jeremiah Love is hot now.
You think Notre Dame wins a game in the playoffs?
Partially depends who you're matched up, but partially if it's at Notre Dame. I don't think Notre Dame should be
They're
in the
kind of on
playoff.
the cutoff, right? Like they're like number nine or something like that,
Yeah,
number
but I
eight.
don't think they should be in the playoff. I think Miami should be in the playoff. The committee, the college football playoff committee was designed for Notre Dame. Notre Dame is
It does
doesn't have
seem
the
like that.
doesn't deal with a conference. They play not a cupcake schedule, but the two hard games they played, they lost. Sure, they beat USC, whatever. A lot of USC was overrated to begin with, but you lose to Miami, you lose to Texas A&M, and again, like that game came down to like a muffed extra point, but still you lost to a good team. Don't get me wrong. So no, I think like yeah, like a two-loss Notre Dame team. I knew the second they were 0-2, they were going to win the rest of their games and probably be in the playoff. That's just how this thing works. That's exactly. They weren't going to lose another game. It was the same thing last year. I knew they were going to be. Actually, no. Last year, I said Notre Dame fooled us all after they lost to Northern Illinois, and I thought Notre Dame was a huge fraud. I was wrong about that.
Okay, so regardless of Heisman, is this the best playoff that we've seen so far in
Well, I mean,
terms of the teams that are in it?
well, again, it's only year two of a 12-team playoff.
I personally think this is one of the best playoff in terms of teams in probably ever.
Well, yeah, because it's a 12-team playoff. I think we're not gonna get the 12 best teams.
I think there's I think the outside of the 11 and 12 seed, whoever those are going to be, Virginia or whatever, JMU,
Duke, Duke should make it in.
if Duke makes it, that's just
Duke, it would be
horrible.
very funny.
That's just that's just such a
It would
waste.
be
Honestly, I
so
hope.
funny.
Well, we would probably play them, right?
Yeah, they lost
We'd
over.
probably play
They
Duke.
lost three non-conference games.
Do they have a realistic chance of beating, who is it, Virginia?
I mean, I think they played Virginia in the regular season and lost. I think I could be wrong about that.
Let's see. I
Yeah.
don't really remember if they did.
We have
Yeah,
not. I said it. I said it in my monologue. We have not talked about Duke football once on this program
yeah,
because
because Duke is not very good
why
at
would
football.
I? Why would I talk about a mediocre ACC team? I talk about the bad ACC teams because I have a soft spot for bad ACC teams. Obviously, because we're a pro Boston College. We went to a Virginia Tech game, but I don't talk about mediocre ACC teams.
Well, since we're a very pro Oregon, how
We're
long
pro.
does Dan Lanning stay?
I always saying forever.
I hope so. He's good.
He's been very clear about his intentions. He's not going anywhere.
He wants to live in Eugene and
It's a great place to live,
stay there.
great place to raise a family.
Good
Just
old
driving.
Huge.
No, he's not leaving. I think he's been very clear about that.
Yeah, hopefully I like him. I mean, we've been successful, so I think him and Chip Kelly had like the same record
Yeah,
in the span of time.
except we're not. He's not leaving to go to the NFL.
So yeah, we got to keep Dan Lanning for sure.
I think we're keeping him for the long haul.
Is Dante Moore going to be here next year or no?
That's the mystery. I think it depends how the playoff goes. Because if they lose like in the second round, maybe he'll have the inkling like, hey, like I want to make another run at this and win a national championship. But if they like win it all, maybe he's like, yeah, I guess I'll go to the NFL. I've come here to like do what I accomplished. Like I think it depends how the playoff goes. I don't think I think because he would be the first quarterback off the board probably in the draft.
Yeah, I got another Oregon question.
Mm.
Was the McClellan catch a catch?
Yes,
Why did they not call it a catch?
I don't know.
That was one of the greatest catches in college history.
It was an awesome catch, and it was deemed not a catch because apparently he bobbled it on the ground. I don't know. I was saying it was a catch the entire time.
Okay, who has the top three defenses? What are the top three defenses in college?
Okay, Ohio State, Texas Tech. I don't know who number three is. I don't really go rank defenses that often, but Texas Tech and Ohio State are definitely my one and two.
I would say Oklahoma.
Oklahoma's up there, yeah.
I think is up there is Oregon.
Yeah, we got a good defense.
I think Oregon's defense is pretty good.
But again, the schedule we've played, and again, we don't pick the schedule. Like we struggled against USC, we struggled against
We
Indiana.
didn't struggle against
I
USC.
mean, USC still scored on us more than other teams do, but USC is also a way better team than like Oklahoma State.
What do you think about the Washington game?
I thought it was the icing on the cake for the season. Great
I
way to
think
go out.
Sappington is very underrated on our team right now.
Yeah, Samson's a good kicker. I think yeah, it was a good. It's a hard place to win Husky Stadium, and not too many teams go there and win. Like Washington struggles on the road, but they're very good at defending their home court or home field. Like the only other team, like they were like since 2022, they had one loss up until Saturday at home, and it was this year.
All right, we'll go into the NFL real quick.
Yeah, let's do some NFL.
Are the Patriots, Broncos,
Broncos are good.
are,
People keep on
you
saying
think Broncos
Broncos
are
are
good?
fraud. Broncos are fine.
You
They
think
find ways
Patriots
to
are
win.
frauds?
Patriots are ahead of schedule. I don't think they're frauds. I think the Broncos, their defense is too darn good. Defense wins championships. I think the Broncos are legit. Are legit.
If the Bears lose, they could go from the 1 to 7 seed.
Yeah, I know, and I hope the Bears lose.
Oh yeah, your Packers, of
Yeah, we
course.
hate the Bears.
Apparently your fans hate the Bears a lot.
We do.
Thought you guys would hate the Vikings, but I guess
No,
it's
we
the
hate
Bears.
the Bear. We hate the Vikings too, and the Lions. We hate all the NFC
Vikings aren't
North
very good
teams.
right now, but the Lions are all right, and
I
the
mean,
Bears
that's
are pretty
the
good.
one thing I unite with Bears fans is our mutual hatred towards the Vikings. Like,
The
yeah,
Vikings, I don't. The Vikings are just horrible.
But yeah, the Bears. I mean, we have a lot of friends who are Bears fans. We're having our friend Ethan Ludwin on the show next week to recap Packers Bears because he's a huge Bears fan. Like we're it's a big game. This is the first like big Packers Bears game in like years. Like, well, not years. I thought that first Jordan Love game against the Bears was a big one because that was we didn't know how good Jordan Love was going to be. But this is the first like meaningful one in a long time where like both teams are actually good.
Who's the most underrated NFL team right now?
I mean, the way people talk about the Broncos, I know I think the Broncos are underrated. I think the Texans are underrated.
It's the 49ers.
It's the 49ers.
It's the 49ers.
They're good. They're not winning at all. Their defense is too
Yeah, they
banged
are.
up. They're too banged
I'm telling
up.
you, I'm picking it right now. 49ers Super Bowl.
Okay.
Packers go to the NFC Championship and lose to the 49ers again.
All right. I like your prediction.
But the Packers, in my opinion, realistically might be the best NFC team, and no one wants to talk about it. But I think the Seahawks and Rams
We
will
lost to the
lose.
Browns. Like we can't live that down.
That's pretty bad.
It was bad.
But you have Micah Parsons, and he'll carry you in the playoffs.
Micah Parsons will care. It's Micah Parsons. Mika.
Mike, I said whatever.
You said Mika.
Mike,
Micah Parsons. Anyways, yes, we do have Micah Parsons, and he's been awesome. But Toyotathon eventually ends in January, and Jordan Love only plays well during Toyotathon. We need to
well,
extend Toyotathon. Toyotathon needs to be a year-round event. Actually,
who
no.
doesn't need Toyota Thon is Brock Purdy.
Yeah, Brock Purdy is not in Toyotathon.
Brock Purdy. That's because Brock Purdy is a top five quarterback in the NFL.
I think when he's at his best, he is. I think he's been. I mean, he's been injured all year.
Mac Jones held it down, and
Mac
now
Jones held down the fort. Credit to Mac
have you heard
Jones.
about Ayuk?
Zayuk playing.
No. He's
Yeah,
been
what's
begging to play, and they just won't let him play for some reason. Him and Mac are probably going to get traded.
yeah, maybe they'll trade Ayuk to the Packers.
They were saying Ayuk and Mac for Justin Jefferson.
No,
That
no way.
what if they did it?
No way.
Give him a quarterback, give him a wide receiver, and we'll take theirs.
That's bold. I like it.
I would take it.
All right. Well, we've been known to do well with predictions on this show.
So that's it right there. That's the trade prediction that's going to happen.
Next season or off season
Off season, whatever. We're going to predict it way in the past from then.
or when the future, you mean?
Yeah.
But yeah, any other underrated NFL teams? Because I think the Texans are very underrated. I think the Panthers are underrated. I don't think the Panthers are going anywhere, but
I don't think the Panthers are that
they
good.
rain on people's parades. They beat the Rams, they beat the Packers. They love raining on parades.
There's a weird I don't know what it's called, but the Panthers might make the Super Bowl. I'll tell you why. Hold on. I gotta find it.
I have heard about this.